My lovely wife.
Yes.
Why? What do you think? What is the reason why we are 25 years together, 20 years married, and counting? We're still happy together.
Yes, we are. Why I think we are together?
Why? What is the reason? No,
Oh,
what
God.
you think? What is the reason?
What's the reason?
What's the reason?
I would say reason number one is we never stopped working on us as a couple and as an individual. Because if you don't do that,
Tell me more about working on us. You mean like as a couple?
yes, I do.
It's important, but tell me, what do you mean about working on us?
Definitely finding compromises when there are some conflicts, because every relationship has conflicts. There are no relationships in this world which have no arguments about whatever it is. Finding compromises together, and what's even more important, I think, is being aware of how you talk to each other, how you communicate.
What? Do you have anything in mind where we really messed up our communication in the past and what we had to learn the hard way?
Yes.
So bad! So tell me, what is something that what comes in your mind when you reply so fast?
So I can definitely speak from my own experience. As Nadine, when there was something that triggered me, you said something and I wasn't happy with that decision or with basically your answer. What happened a lot was I felt not heard. I thought that I always was wrong with everything and that my decision basically didn't matter. And I didn't know how to deal with that, because for me, I thought that you wanted to hurt me in a kind of way with your words, which you never wanted to do. But I felt like that.
Was it the time when I tried to talk to you and you totally shut down?
Because I felt offended.
That was annoying. It was really annoying.
Oh, yes. Now I can definitely relate that. But back then, I didn't even know that I reacted that way, because I got used to that and I never learned it in a different way, how to communicate.
That's true. I can give an example. We had a huge discussion about something, and she suddenly just closed off. Really locked door, and there was no key to her opening up.
And when you asked me, is everything okay? What did I say?
Everything is fine, and you could tell that on her forehead.
Yes.
That there was nothing fine. But she said, I'm
Everything's fine. And this happens to a lot of women, especially.
It probably do, I don't know. But it drove me nuts. It actually was one of the reasons our relationship went bad that time. If you want to have a discussion and your partner suddenly closes down, you want to solve an issue, but your partner then says nothing anymore.
Yep.
And just ghosts you. What the hell? And I'm a calm person usually, but that really drove me nuts.
I remember that. And this is what I mean with not just working together as a couple, working individually, working on your challenges you're having, no matter what it is. And first of all, being aware of what's going on, how you react that way and why you react that way.
I have a challenging question for you, maybe. How did you get aware of the situation that you ghosted the conversation?
To be honest, you made me aware of how I was reacting a lot. At some point, I tried to figure out if this was a real thing.
How many DVDs?
Just 3, I think. Okay. As soon as I got aware of that you might be right.
See, a woman says her husband might be right. Listen to that.
You like that?
I like that. That's like a jackpot.
What I really did back then is reflecting on myself and making myself aware of situations when something like this happened. It wasn't just you reminding me like, hey, you reacting, you told me that I should try to think of another way to talk to you. And this is basically why I got support. I got myself a coach for that. And this is what I needed back then, because I wanted to change that. I wanted to grow, and I wanted to make our relationship, our marriage better. So we can both deal with that better, and we both can figure out a way. Because this was something which annoyed myself as well, and I got help. So I learned techniques, not just to making myself aware, but techniques of how to communicate with you.
What type of technique? What would be one thing that you could share right now?
Better listening. Listening and really letting your partner talk before you talk. So let your partner say what your partner wants to say, and don't start talking until they're done.
Really well.
Mhm.
Something else?
Definitely be aware of what you're saying and how you say it, because this can trigger your partner. If you say something in a way that might offend your partner, and you don't even mean that, probably, I hope, but sometimes this can happen, that your partner feels offended because you say something in a harsh tone or whatever. Making yourself aware of how you communicate, actually.
Adding to that, also, like, if your partner has this harsh tone, tell them, hey, I just got this sense, and how do you mean that? Like, really, if they have this harsh tone, maybe they just got it wrong. They didn't meant to be.
Which can happen. We are all humans, right?
We're all humans.
You can have a bad day. Everyone has a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
Except house, not and make your partner aware of, hey, you sound a bit stressed, maybe, or whatever. Make your partner aware that you sense something which is a bit off.
And I feel like you have this stressed voice. I feel like you feel uncomfortable. Hey, would you like to share what happened? Why?
And this can happen. This can happen, especially when having kids. We have 2 kids, and we know that some days it can be really challenging. But you know what? That's life. So, happens.
Another thing, what I wanted to mention is that when you have these discussions about whatever, you want to talk about with your partner because of the reason, because you want to work through that. One thing that Nadine, I think, was like always offended is like, that I wanted to complain about you, but it was never about complaining about her. I just wanted to get things out of the way. I wanted to have her opinion. I wanted to have her view. I wanted to have her idea, because we are in a relationship. You are in a relationship, and I think it's just fair to talk with your partner about certain situations, certain circumstances, and being honest about situation, and just say, hey, this is how it is.
Yeah.
And we really have to talk about it, and we have to work through that. And even if it's uncomfortable, and Nadine was always offended. I've never intended to offend her, but that's how she reacted.
Yep. Because I never learned it in a different way. So I never learned how to communicate. To be honest, do we learn how to communicate in school? Probably not. So, and everyone can learn that. Everyone can learn how to communicate. Everyone can learn how to listen. Everyone can learn how to reflect on themselves. This is just one simple decision. If you want to learn it, then you can.
Just as recap, what are the 3 things we just talked about are so important? Like, we really, number 1 is be aware of that, how you react. And sometimes it's like also like asking your partner, hey, I feel like I overreacted or whatever. Again, you are in a relationship. You should be able to talk about situations honestly and openly with your partner.
Yes. You have to be honest.
And also let your partner coach you. Hey, I feel like you reacted strangely. Not that saying you reacted over. That's like, no, I feel like, hey, you feel stressed, whatever. Really point out how you felt, they felt. Because we are emotionally humans. humans connect perfectly when we talk about emotions, not about the actions, about the emotions.
Right.
Be coachable
Yeah.
and coach each other, allow each other to coach. And again, really, number 3 is when you have this discussion, they are not there to hurt your other partner, they're there to make your relationship stronger, to work through things stronger. And having a partner who's open about it and really wants things to be solved is something which is so valuable.
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to start. Don't be afraid to start. Just start. Recognize where you are, acknowledge where you are, and take that next step to change your communication, to change your behavior. There's nothing wrong with that.